Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ville Chillin' Podcast, part of the Villain ENT Network. My name is Jack.
My name is Aaron. Today is going to be the first of our monthly themed episodes. We're going to try to drop on the first Sunday of every month. Just an episode to kind of follow a specific theme instead of just do our usual babbling, I guess. So this month we're going to bring you an episode based on tech and gaming. And so that's what we're focused on today. Before we get into that, how was your weekend, bro? Did you do anything cool?
We didn't do a lot this weekend. We went to the library. We had to get some things printed for stepson. He's about to start school. We had an orientation thing. That was about it. What about you? What did you do this weekend?
Same old same. Pretty much just played video games. Got a couple new games: Kingdom Come Deliverance and Fable. Fable's kind of a throwback to being a teenager, so
Nostalgia.
Yeah. But other than that, got new internet installed. Went from Spectrum to AT&T Fiber. So went from 100 down, 10 up to 500 down, 500 up.
Wow.
So it's pretty insane how much easier it is to upload the shows now. It goes much faster. I think when I sent you last week's, or not, whatever, when I sent you the last one, it uploaded and you couldn't even see it yet because it was still processing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like some South Korea speeds you got there, bro.
It's definitely an improvement, and it'll be very beneficial considering some of the larger files can take an hour or more just to upload. Other than that, I got Premiere Pro, started doing some work in that, and just trying to learn more to help make the show grow, make the show better. So, yeah, I didn't really do too much this weekend. That was about it. Speaking of weekends, though, and stuff to do, the state fair's coming up. Do you plan on going?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it this year because of work. I definitely like to, though. I know there's supposed to be a bunch of things going on, though, there.
I mean, there always is. I don't know the specifics this year, but it's funny, I mentioned it to work, and my VP's immediate response was donut burger.
Donut burger?
Yeah, donut burger. So, they got all the crazy foods at the state fair, and
Man,
the
that
Krispy Kreme donut burger is one of them.
sounds amazing and dangerous at the same time.
That's what I said. Yeah, I've never had one, but she swears by them.
I remember they give out ham there. Their ham was amazing. Louisville Kentucky ham.
Yeah, man, pretty crazy. But so, I guess you ready to dive into the show today?
Yeah, what's the plan?
First topic today is Code Louisville. So, you know anything about them?
Yes, Code Louisville. I love them. So Code Louisville is a local nonprofit. Their goal is to inform people about tech and help them get jobs and utilize that role of tech in their daily lives. So, like I said, they're nonprofit. I know a lot of people who have benefited from it. I did enroll. I wasn't able to finish just because other things in life kind of got in the way. But have you heard of them?
Yeah, I actually did it, enrolled as well, but wasn't able to finish. It was a few years back. It was really cool though. It was a very fun experience and something that kind of it'll stick with you even if you aren't able to finish. You learn something from it. And that was then back when it was part of the library. I think they branched off from the library now, and they do their own thing. But I know they've really expanded a lot of their programs. Um, like you said, they've helped dozens, if not hundreds, of people. Well, I mean, there you go, 749 graduates placed in tech jobs. So, 300 plus companies have hired people who went through the program, and they got mentors donating thousands of hours and thousands of hours of their time to help people. So, it's really cool and free. It's craziest of all, It's one of those things where I guess you you get out of it what you put into it. Got to put in the time, and they're there to teach you as much as you want to learn.
And of those graduates, all those people, those people, some of those people have been going through some rough times, and they just were determined and dedicated and made it. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one, maybe several of those people could have been homeless before they found those roles, and now they're in $100,000 plus salary jobs. So
yeah,
I mean, it just starts with just that determination.
absolutely. And I mean, what's really awesome is that, I mean, I can't speak personally, but because I haven't been through a boot camp, but from what I do know is that if you treat it right, you put your time in, and you really reach out to people when you need it, it's pretty reminiscent of a boot camp, a coding boot camp type setup. But those cost thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean it's a really awesome program. Proud of those guys. Hopefully they just can keep doing what they're doing, and hopefully Kentucky continues to help pay for that.
Yeah. If you have any interest in the future, getting in tech, maybe as a career, even a hobby. I mean, the goal is to get it as a career, but even if you want to get into it and just learn, look up Code Louisville.
Yeah, it's just codelouisville.org. You can see it on the screen here. You got this apply now button on the side, so that's literally where to start. Awesome. So next, I wanted to do an honorable mention for gaming, especially. Gaming is huge.
Love me some Tetris.
Things like esports are growing like crazy every year. Competitive gaming's getting bigger and bigger, but I mean, even little indie games are just blowing up and going huge and making people a lot of money sometimes, it's about the quality of the game, not always the money backing it. So some of these indie companies are making some of the best games right now. And to that effect, Louisville has its own gaming group. So it's like those maker spaces where people can go and do projects, but it's for gaming, and it's Louisville Makes Games. It's pretty awesome of them. So they meet up every so often and talk gaming. So it says here the goal is, oh, don't know what happened there. I apologize. All right. Well, either way, Louisville Makes Games. Here it is. It's promote game development as a viable career in the city through game development programming, classes for kids, industry talks, art gallery showcases, and other events. So, their first major project was establishing the physical space called Warp Zone. So that's kind of their home base of operations for the, I guess, club. I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but if you're interested in creating video games, definitely check out Louisville Makes Games.
Wow, it seems like a nice community. So is this free or?
That I really don't know. Like they've grown a lot since I last heard of them. Education for kids. I mean, they don't really have too much information on here. Probably have to contact them. It looks like it's a nonprofit though. They do private tutoring. I'm really not sure.
Okay, so if you're
They don't
interested,
mention price,
just reach out to them, and they'll have more information for you as far as the pricing, if there is any. I think from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's some of the meetings and stuff's free, but if you want to occupy more of like the space, the warp zone, it looks like there might be a fee to have 24-hour access.
Gotcha. So you can go to the meetings as a guest, and I mean that makes sense because if they're hosting a whole space, they're paying for equipment and stuff. So
That's what it is. Yeah.
they got to be able to cover their overhead.
Yeah, lights cost money.
But they're there for advice, and they're there to talk to people and help teach, because that's their main goal and their main mission.
So, what kind of games are they focusing on?
I think they do a little bit of everything, man, from video games to tabletop games. It's literally just game creation. I definitely know they do video games though, like for various consoles. Um Mobile, PC, Xbox, just indie style basic games. Unless you want to expand it further than that, but I mean it's just pretty awesome to see something like this in our community. Um and then here it says their workshops cover disciplines of game development, including coding, so definitely video games, story, art and animation, music and sound, and actual game design. So it's pretty cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of those developers got their start at Code Louisville too. That'd be interesting to reach out to and see.
Yeah, or I mean they're probably at least involved as mentors in some way. A little bit more about local gaming scene is there's actually some indie companies making quite a few games in the local Kentucky space. So it's not all Louisville, but there's 3 companies that I found, and the first one here, I think these guys are part of the Louisville Makes Games. I don't know. The faces look like they were in that other picture. I can't swear to it. I didn't look into it, but they just looked, I don't know, they looked familiar. But Two Scoop Gaming has quite a few games out for various platforms. So based out of Louisville, they have 3 major releases: Kickbot, Scurry, and Cyrush, and they're working on another Kickbot game. They've done, so cross-platform: iOS, Android, Web, Linux, Mac, Windows. So basically mobile games, at least those main ones are. But here's a whole list of the various different games that they've done. And so that's one indie company here in Louisville. Another one is Hitsense Gaming, or hitsense.com, I guess. They've done a lot of different games from cross platforms, from Nintendo to Xbox One to PlayStation. Again, indie games, but they also help with marketing and branding. So they're a publisher as well as a developer. And some of the games that they've done here, I haven't played any of these. The only one I recognize, or would even recognize, I can tell you, was I think there was, what was it at? Oh, there's a Godfather game there, and I'd never played it. I just know what the Godfather is. So, but that's another company. I forget exactly where they're based. Bowling Green. Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That's awesome. When I think Bowling Green, I
don't think gaming,
right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it is really cool to see them, to see that Kentucky really is expanding in that area, because it's not exactly what we're known for in Kentucky.
Yeah.
One final one is a Lexington-based gaming company, Frog Dice. Looks like they also do some mostly like mobile type gaming. But they have quite a few games here. Looks like RPG style, or almost like a Candy Crush style game. This is a turn-based combat game, Threshold, or Stash. So yeah, I mean they've got quite a few games, so that they're based out of Lexington. So I just thought it'd be cool to introduce some of those if anybody wants to help support some local companies. If you're into those kind of games, then it's really cool to see local companies get the love and support.
So yeah, definitely support them in any way. If you are interested in local gaming, definitely try to support them by downloading or buying some of their stuff for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. Looks like even this one has some of the they got some YouTube channels and Twitch channels and stuff. So uh, there's ways to support where you don't necessarily have to donate physical money. You know, um, so just check them out if you're into gaming or like to support gaming in general.
Just tell your friends. Yeah, you don't have to support monetarily. Like, just telling somebody about it. Like, hey, did you know these guys do this? That's a lot right there.
Exactly. Exposure is everything in that space. So you got to spread the word, and people got to know about it before they can buy it and play it.
So yeah, dude, tech affects everything, man. Um, it affects, especially here in Louisville. I mean, everywhere. It affects it everywhere. But here in Louisville, there's a lot going on as far as how tech affects like the major companies. We have a big UPS hub.
Oh yeah.
The airports, Humana, they use technology is a big role in how they do what they do. General Electric.
Yeah, I mean the medical side of things is huge too because you have to keep all those records. You know, you got everything from database to front end users having to look up records to back end users and management, data management, privacy concerns, security concerns. All those companies have to worry about those aspects of their customers and clients' information.
Yeah, it's not Silicon Valley here, but I mean, there's definitely things happening. The medical U of L is one of the top hospitals in the world. They've done things that nobody else has done in the medical field. They've saved so many lives by doing procedures like I said that nobody else has ever done. Like they had the first heart transplant, I believe the first hand transplant. I forget which else, but the list there's a whole list. And if you get a chance just to look it up, you will. The schools here they're really utilizing tech, and I'm sure all schools are, but here they're utilizing Google a Google platform where you can keep track of the students' goals and what they're achieving and their daily tasks. So, when the kid gets home, you're not like, hey, what did you do today? What's your goals today? Did you achieve your goals? And you can see what they've done. And this is all through tech. So it's really cool there.
Is that through like tablet or laptop or?
Yes, it's much like the gaming. Everything's cross-platform now, so you could find it on your computer. You can find it on his tablet, on their tablet, on your phone. Constantly being connected. It's just really cool how technology's done that.
Yeah. There's no more changing your grade before you get home with the report card, dude.
We had it lucky, dude. Like that was I was a straight A student,
I mean,
according to what the parents saw,
Yeah, man. We had to be crafty, but in different ways. It wasn't
the F's to A's every day.
Right. Their craftiness wasn't always with the best of intentions or the most benefit to society. Whereas now, tech really helps redirect that. You have to, even just using technology. Like it's crazy how much my 3-year-old can use a phone, a tablet. Like she's really starting to use a mouse and stuff now. She loves Paint. You just open up Paint on Microsoft and she has a blast.
Man.
So
it helps with their motor skills and stuff. It's just really cool how that helps them advance.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really awesome. And I mean, weren't you saying something before we started about the 3D printing going on in Louisville?
Oh yeah. I forget over at the Louisville libraries they have a Make It creative Make It place. Yeah, they have the Make It spaces. They're really cool. With that they have a 3D printer at some of these spaces, and the family we went out and my stepson he made this cool little sculpture, like this little statue of like a head. I don't know if it was from a document that they had available that he was able to print, or if it's something that he designed his own. I forget, but it was really cool. It was free.
Yeah.
Just whenever you get a chance, just look up some of those the local libraries, and they'll have it listed whether or not they have those 3D printers available.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I'm scrolling through here, and it looks like they really have a lot of different stuff depending on where you go. I saw the turntables, so that caught my eye. One of them has
What?
a AV studio with full recording booth and audio equipment.
At the
Great.
library.
At the Northeast Regional.
So see here that they have audio equipment where you can record.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
That's awesome, man. Libraries in this day and age don't get enough credit. You know, people used to know more about libraries and the events going on, the things they had going on, because how did you get the information for your school reports? You know, when we had to do research papers in school, other than just changing our grade, we we had to go to the library to actually research. You know, we had to go to the library to find that information. And while you're there, the librarians are handing you flyers and stuff like, hey, we got this going on, or they got big banners, you know. Nobody goes to libraries anymore. We spent a lot of time in libraries.
Love the library. Believe it or not, it was kind of like Google before Google too.
Facts, dude. Like, if you needed help researching something, you went to a librarian. At least I did.
My parents, and maybe this was just them, and that they would argue over something, and then they would say, "Call the library," and they would call the library for the answer like it was Google. This was '95, hey, so I don't know what was going on, but
that's amazing. The librarian's probably there, like, okay, I reckon. Yep. Okay,
she's probably asking Jeeves because she don't know what else to do.
I'm heading to the Britannica section. Don't worry. No, libraries really don't get enough. I saw a post on Reddit recently, actually, and I think it's been around a while. I've seen it before, but it came up again, where somebody tweeted and they were like, "Man, libraries don't get enough credit." I was at a random library in Alaska reading a random local folklore book and couldn't remember anything about most of it except the main plot. He said all I did was call up the librarian, and within 15 minutes, I had full details in my email. Like,
that's beautiful.
Unsung heroes. Like, it's pretty wild how they don't get enough credit, just like teachers. You know, yep. A lot of teachers. So our last topic for today, ironically or not ironically because it was totally planned, is podcasts. You know, I saw something on Reddit recently on the Louisville or the Kentucky subreddit. I don't remember which.
Same thing.
Pretty much. Yeah. They get cross posted all the time. So on like July 22nd or something like that, I believe, 100 years ago, the first radio station opened in Kentucky, and it was like WHAS Louisville or WOKY Louisville, or one of those like news radios. But 100 years later, you know, while they were able to reach who knows how many people really, because I mean, radios were the main form of entertainment, but you know, there were plenty of people out where radio towers didn't reach, or, you know, different things. And now here we are talking to all of you, whoever decides to watch at any moment or point in time that you could want to. So it's just crazy to think how much technology really has changed when you look at just 100 years ago. Just 100 years ago, we barely knew how to send sound waves through transistors and resistors, and
I'm sure in the next 50 years we'll probably be projecting holograms. Who knows? It's the future.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, we're down.
That'd be awesome. One thing I'm never going to support, though, no matter how many futuristic shows portrayed it, is flying cars. People can't even drive straight right, and you want to give them the ability to go up and down.
I thought you were about to say neuro. I thought you was going to talk about some kind of like brain implant, and you were like, no.
Something serious.
No, we're just talking about cars.
We're not going to end it on that serious.
Next week.
Right. Brought to you by Neuralink. Exactly. So I guess with that, we'll call it for today. As usual, be blessed. Bless someone around you. I'm Aaron.
I'm Jack. Have a great weekend.
See you next week.